and Drive to Survive, which just came out, they took a clip of me like 2 years ago playing golf, and I was just talking about how much it was a shit game and I hated it, and so people are going to be like, what is this guy doing?
Brighter days on the other side of pain. Can't be the same if you want to see some.
See, the silence kills me. I'd rather everybody just keep talking, I think.
Everyone can just boo.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Liam, just smoking them across.
Yeah, they'll pick up the good shots.
Like one or two good shots, and I'm
pick
like,
up the good shots.
yeah.
You just sell it.
Make sure we put those on, and the rest don't matter.
Caleb, sink your par and get out. Let's get out of here.
Come on, mate.
Some credibility for our group.
Oh, yeah. I think the mic's really messed me up there.
Oh my God, I'm with you, mate. We're picking these up.
Are we done?
Yeah, mate. I'll get rid of this.
It's distracting.
Time for the cameraman to go home.
This is ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. Liam, thank you for taking a little bit of time to talk to me on a series we've dubbed The Pressure Cooker. It's almost like a journey that I'm on at the moment to get inside the mind of high-performing people like yourself, having played rugby for so long and understanding how my mind used to work when it was put under pressure. I'm now intrigued to learn how other people deal with high pressure situations. And I've been lucky enough to go to Formula One events, from Melbourne to Monaco to Singapore. One thing I think about is the distraction that the drivers have. Like, I've seen them as they prepare before they get on the grid, the amount of commitments that they have, sponsorship commitments, the media circus, the photos with celebrities, the interviews that you're having to do. It's chaos. So in that chaotic world that you live in, leading into just racing, how do you stay on task?
So the team are quite good at allocating time before a session. So I normally I'll have like a good hour or nearly an hour in my room to basically warm up and prepare and stuff like that. But the hard part is, and what you don't experience before F1, is normally you do your preparations, you get in the car, you go out to the grid, and that's it. But in Formula One, there's like almost a show leading up to the race. So you do your preparations, you get in the car, you've listened to your music, you've gotten your mindset, and then you go out, you do like 3 laps, and then you park up on the grid, and then it's 45 minutes or so before the race starts, and you're out of the car, you're doing interviews, you're like speaking to people, and you totally lose that mindset you just basically got into. For me, I bring my AirPods with me and I just listen to music. So when I walk, normally we do a national anthem right before we get back in the car to do the race. Yeah, it's that sort of couple of minutes you have from national anthem to getting in the car to get back in that mindset, and it's a lot less than I'd been used to. But for me, it was music.
Similarly, you look at the whole lot of the rugby boys before kickoff, AirPods, headphones on, listen to music, just to take you away from all the things that can distract you from what you need to do. So now I want to take you back to earlier in your career. You've achieved a lot, through your karting days here in New Zealand, but you had to move abroad at a really young age. How did you find the pressure of driving overseas at such a young age?
Well, at the start, it was before I was with Red Bull. I just went over as a New Zealander, tried to. The idea was to try and get picked up by a junior team in Formula One anyway, because we knew we didn't have money to go to Formula One. The first sort of year, I didn't really care, but it was when I got picked up by Red Bull that was when the pressure came, because they sign you, and then sort of the director of the junior program, he's been doing it since the start of it, Helmut Marko. He's the guy who gives you the phone calls at 7 a.m., putting pressure on you, and they're really, really intense phone calls. And as a 16, 17-year-old kid, they were the ones that freaked me out a lot. So I worked with a coach from pretty much when I first went to Europe, and he was a mental sort of performance coach that is still with me now. He's been with me since I went to Europe, and he played a big role in just the mindset. It's like, all it is your brain naturally goes to stuff that normally is out of your control. You worry about stuff that what other people are doing. Our sport's has a lot of variables, conditions, other people around you, whether your car is quick enough or not. It's not always just as simple as drive the car as fast as you can. So it's really easy to think about stuff that's not even in your control. And I think for me, it was always just putting my mindset to stuff that I could actually do. And if the best I could do on the day was a 10th, then that was the best I could do, and just to be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, with life in general, let alone a high performance sport, there is so much unpredictability, and you touched on things you can't control. But we used to say in a test match, there's always going to be 3 really big things that you can't control that are completely unpredictable, whether it's a referee decision, maybe a red card, maybe one of your best players getting injured in the first 5 minutes, whatever it is. That something's going to happen during the game. There's no such thing as a perfect game or a perfect race. There's always going to be mistakes and setbacks that you have.
That's, I'd say, before a qualifying, like starting a qualifying lap it might be the most pressure we have on a weekend, because it's actually the only time you drive the car normally. It'll be the only time on the whole weekend you're actually driving the car 100% on the limit, getting everything out of it. Because in a race, you're looking after tyres. It's a lot of communication and sort of thinking about other stuff to manage a race. But in qualifying, it's absolutely everything on the limit. Tyres are a brand new soft compound, engines turned up, fuel's really, really low, and you're extracting everything out of it. So for me, it's always starting a lap. Say the track's got 18 corners, and you're trying to put every single one of them together. And almost when you start a lap, one thing I always did that helped was, rather than thinking about the whole lap and just thinking I need to nail this lap, was to take it corner by corner. And just think about, all right, turn 1 is first, basically, and think about what I need to do for turn 1, and then just shift it, and through the lap, you're just basically moving on corner by corner by corner, to try and piece it together. And realistically, you're not, to do a perfect lap is, I don't think I've ever done a perfect lap. You've done laps that are great, but it's being prepared to know that that's almost not going to happen.
Nice. Now, I want to take the viewers to you on the grid before the race. You're looking in your left rear vision mirror. You got teammate, 4-time 4-wheel titles, Max Verstappen on your left. You look in your right rear vision mirror. You got Lewis Hamilton, 7 world titles. The heat that's inside the cockpit, what gets up to 50, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. Your heart is absolutely pounding. You're in this moment of silence before the start of the race. What's going through your mind?
I'm real nervous before a race, to be honest, and to the point where, we have in Formula 1 we have hand clutches, so we have basically 2 pedals, throttle, brake, and because of the G's that you pull, they're actually encased in almost like a mold that's around your foot, so they don't move. And the clutch, all we use it for is pit stops in the start, but it's a hand clutch. And so if you're shaking and you're nervous, you're holding this clutch, and that procedure is really, really important. However you do it to do that launch. Every team has their own method, but that part for me is always quite hard, or it's hard to overcome. But something I've had since I was a kid is I've always been nervous leading up to a race. Since I was 7 years old, no matter how nervous I was before a race, I know that as soon as it starts, I go into a flicker mindset basically, where the nerves just go away and you're just in race mode basically, and all you're thinking about is going as fast as you can. And for me, I know that no matter how nervous I am, as soon as the lights go out, I almost look forward to it. I'm on the grid and I'm waiting for them to come on, and I'm just like, hurry up, because I know I just want to flick into that mindset as quickly as I can. I don't want to sit there any longer and think about everything and be shaking almost. So it's looking forward to that moment, because I know that as soon as the lights go out, that I'm okay. Actually,
nerves they're okay. It means you really care about something and you want to do well, providing that you've done the work. If you're taking some shortcuts and you're nervous because you didn't quite do the preparation, then that's bad nerves. But if you've done the work, nerves are normal. Everyone's feeling them. But as soon as the ref blew the whistle, kick off, you're just in game mode, and that's the part of what we do that we love the most. Is that moment on the grid the most amount of pressure in your week, or is it qualifying like you mentioned before?
I think it's qualifying, honestly, because I would say I've found it harder to escape those nerves. Like for me, it's not as simple as starting a qualifying lap and that going away. Sometimes it's harder to shake those nerves or shake that that mindset. It's also the importance of qualifying. It makes a really, really big difference to your weekend where you start in the race. It completely decides almost what strategy you're going to run in the race. But I think something else I did, or I still do, is I think I've learned that I'll miss this one day. Like I'll miss this feeling, that nerve. So if I'm really, really nervous before a race or before a qualifying lap or in any situation I'm real nervous, I'll always try and remind myself that this feeling that I won't have for forever. You know, I'm going to have this for however long my career lasts, and then one day I'm going to wish that I could feel this again.
Yeah, and there's a concept that I learned through my rugby career of, and I'm sure when you're racing, you're wanting to be in a really sort of state of blue head, where you're really clear communication with your team, you're in control, you're on task. But every now and then your mind shifts into a state of redhead, where you're off task, you're thinking about a mistake or something that might have happened, or someone's just passed you, and you're a little bit sort of redhead mentality where you're off task. Yeah. When you know that you're in a state of redhead, do you have any tools to help you get back on task and focusing on the process and back into that state of blue head?
I've never used that term, but it makes a lot of sense. And I think if I was to say I was in a redhead sort of mode, for us it's not reacting on the radio, so it's not pushing the button no matter how I feel. Quite often I'll react in the car, but I won't press a button. So I'll tell myself, just no matter how you feel, don't press a button. Unless it's constructive, don't press a button. I think for me, a lot of our sport, especially in a race, is a lot of communication. So one thing that we really can't do is, if we're in that sort of redhead mode, is be blowing up and giving a whole bunch of information that's not really needed. Information that we share with engineers has to be quite short, really constructive. There's so much going on in the background that we don't hear as drivers that they're dealing with as a team. For me, I always think head up. So I'll actually sometimes say it and think to myself, so if I'm in a situation where something's happened where I would normally react, quite often I almost forget about it, and it's after the race I'll come in and I'll go, oh, I completely forgot that even happened, then I know I've done a good job at basically moving on from it, because there's so much left to think about. But I would say, in my experience, if I'm on the radio and I'm upset, it's not helping the team. I know it's not helping me as a driver, so normally I just try and just move on, straight head up. That's normally what I say.
Can you think of a moment in your career where you feel like you're under the most amount of pressure, and how did you handle that moment?
For me, the most I've had is very recently, and it's just the end of last year, getting the seat with V-Carb, knowing that basically I was being evaluated for Red Bull racing and a chance at the Red Bull seat. And then as those races go on, you're being directly compared, and it's just trying to do the best job. Yeah,
I love how you see it as an opportunity, because once I changed my mindset towards pressure and actually wanted to embrace it, walk towards it, understood that it's actually a privilege to have that pressure in your life. You're doing something that so many other people would love to do, then you embrace it, you walk towards it, because you know that's where greatness is, and you start achieving things that you want to achieve.
Yeah, I always think about when I was a kid, because I always think, it's crazy how, in my experience, how quickly you adjust to things and they just became part of your normal life. And for me, I just look back to when I was a kid and I tell myself, if 10-year-old me could see what I was doing now, how do you think he'd feel? Do you think he'd be feeling all these things, or do you think he'd be so excited about the opportunity he's got? And so I always try and bring myself back to when I was younger, and just sort of try and have a bird's eye view of what's going on and see how almost cool this opportunity is.
Great mindset to have. Liam, thank you so much for your time, and more importantly, your season ahead. I know that you've got a country of 5 million fans supporting you all throughout your season, so all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for giving us a little insight into your mind as well, and how you best perform under pressure, and I'm sure there's a lot of great takeaways for everyone watching as well, so appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.